Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Today I want to talk to you about Deadhaus Sonata, a game that's been developed by Apocalypse Studios under Denis Dyack, the original creator of the Blood Omen Legacy of Kain series and many other titles. I don't have a script for this video as the demo was fairly short, but while it was short, it was already packed with a few things that I would like to talk about. I have a few notes written down just for convenience, but for the most part you'll be hearing my raw thoughts. So this game is supposed to be an action RPG where we play as a vampire with a co-op component, optionally. And it's also supposed to be the spiritual successor to the aforementioned Legacy of Kain. To my understanding, the game will work this way. We will have a main hub in the form of a castle, from where to develop our character and jump into missions. And these missions will progress the main storyline based on the choices we make. Also, after briefly talking with the devs, I was told that these choices will have meaningful consequences. Now, as soon as I started the demo, two things in particular caught my interest. The celestial calendar and the voice acting. Almost every element of this game is beautifully voice acted. There is in-depth narration that provides lore even for things such as the days, the months, and the weather.
As Ruina wanes, we set out in search and find things revealed under its light that were hidden to us before. Each night grows darker to mortal eyes now, sliver by sliver, until the new moon brings the new month. And so too is the sight of El Sabaoth upon Ruina diminished as it wanes, though there is naught he can do to influence it either way, and his forces are far too diminished to launch a direct assault. Oct is the month of growth. Once more the land grows green and the trees are felled for the purposes of man. In the past, they set out for trade and war in the month of Oct. Today, they are but a shadow of their former glory, patrolling the ever-shrinking borders of their once great empire. The sign of the vessel belongs to Oct. It is the sign of journeys, guidance, and those whose purpose is to contain. Many are the forms of vessels, as many are their passengers.
Not to mention the Chronicles, which are basically some small audiobooks that tells you stories. And they are not just narrated, they are also featuring audio effects like rain, swords clashing, just to further tickle your imagination.
It came upon the vampire's dwelling, the ruined tower from the First Age. 12 of us stormed the lookout and rode down the mindless thralls that sought to warn their master. The knights wished to breach the tower on foot, to smite the wretch as it lay in its coffin, but I stood them down. That's what it wanted us to do, to assemble in the confines of those ruins, dismounted, away from the sun. From my satchel, I procured a flask, shook it vigorously, and threw it at the base of the tower, setting it ablaze with alchemical fire.
Then we have the Celestial Calendar, which I already mentioned, and this feature promises a lot. To quote Denis Dyack's own words, the calendar doesn't just simulate the time of day and the weather for your current location, but it actually simulates the entire universe around the game, from planetary bodies, sunsets, and solar eclipses. All of these things will in turn help determine the situation for the player and change the environment around them. In short, the game will revolve around this calendar a lot.
Depotus, 24th of Oct. Fog wreaths the lands, dulling the senses of mortals.
Now, as for the RPG elements, we get some of the more classic stuff. We can customize our vampire's gear and skills. Furthermore, the gear can be enhanced with inscriptions, and the skills, or how the game calls them, Major Arcana tarot cards, can be equipped with Minor Arcanas, which will upgrade and evolve them into different versions.
The five are flesh. The first of us was Merinth, the Red Lady, the font of our cursed blood.
For example, the Exsanguinate skill, which starts off as a simple blood drain that automatically targets the closest enemy and doesn't let you move while casting, in my run, after I evolved it, turned into a mass murdering multi-target spell that I could cast while flying, and that in turn allowed me to much more easily dispatch of large groups of enemies.
The tomb of flesh.
The skills felt fairly okay to use overall, but I have to say that the combat, especially the melee component of it, still needs a lot of work. It often felt floaty and it lacked a bit of, let's say, connection to the targets. I think it could be because of how the hit detection works, but I can't say for sure. In the clip you are currently seeing, while I was using Dance Macabre, which states that it should move you rapidly to the target in front of you, actually had me often locked in a flurry of attacks in one direction, without letting me adjust it. And now that's a good breakpoint where I should mention that obviously this is a very early preview demo of the systems. Things are definitely not ready and we have to give them time to work on them. If you do try the demo yourselves, keep that in mind and try to provide constructive feedback to the developers. Other thing that impressed me was the weather. The quality of the effects was not something I was expecting. Even if it's nothing crazy, it definitely added to the whole vibe. But I also have to say that visually the game isn't super appealing to me. I will play it anyway because I'm not picky, and I'm not gonna assume that this is the final look anyway. I'm sure it will probably evolve a lot over the course of development. There is also to say that the graphics options were missing from the demo, so that could be also one of the reasons why the game looks the way it does. They are simply not ready. The demo has some replayability if you intend to test different, let's call them builds, as you get a bunch more skills that you can actually equip at once. Alas, it only features 2 levels. Speaking of, in the second level, during my first run, I felt really overwhelmed by the amount of enemies around. So much so that I was wondering if they were necessary. It felt very overkill and I can't deny I was struggling. I almost died a bunch of times. But that also changed when I replayed it, equipped with all of my skills and their upgrades, as I was able to clear the map much more easily. I could take on huge groups of enemies at once, and so that made me realize that progression really matters. In conclusion, this game definitely piqued my interest, and I will be keeping an eye out on it. Now, let me know what you think about it. Are you going to give it a chance? If you like the video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, as it helps the channel to grow and allows me to bring you more previews like this one. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.
It appears that the Thasians have sealed their catacombs with some kind of magic. But it's nothing but a proper sacrifice to the Red Lady. These ashen priests are attempting to seal the statue by magic. Slay them, or the way to the catacombs will remain shut. The Red Lady has accepted your sacrifice. Go forth and shed more blood in her name.